Denver Broncos, Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. We're going to get into the Las Vegas Raiders all 22 film and how it pertains to the Denver Broncos. But first, I got a couple things I want to put out first. I want to first talk about absurdity that's going on right now in both sports radio and online Broncos platforms. The first thing I want to talk about is the online platforms that are playing the Dumb and Dumber role. So you think we have a chance? No, don't jump ship. Don't jump. No. Subscribe. And listen to our advertising. Don't let our numbers go down. Look, we're not going to blow that kind of smoke up your ass, okay? We're going to tell you like it is. Okay, if you want smoke blown up your ass, you go and you endure all those commercials because that's what you got coming to you. Okay, we're going to give it to you straight. Now, that segues me into Oakley Dokley Stokely and his partner. And again, we're not into hypocrisy here, or hypocrisy, excuse me. We're into giving it to you like it is, whether you want to hear it or not, okay? So Oakley Dokley Stokely and his partner just were totally shocked and amazed. They got Miss Cleo'd. Okay, they were Miss Cleo'd. They're shocked and amazed. That may have been before your time, Miss Cleo. Yeah, they were totally shocked and amazed that they just realized now that Gordon's signing was bad. Can you imagine that? Now listen to this to show you this kind of warped thinking that goes on. And you have to wonder if you have to go to school for this kind of thinking, because I don't even know how you would think this. But they said, quote, we looked at the game film on him, and he looks really good, but he's not a top 20 running back. Okay, timeout. So what you're saying is he looks good on film, but yet he's not a top 20. How is that somehow looking good on film? Look, guys, we'll never bring this garbage on and put it on your doorstep. We're going to tell you like it was, or like it is, and like it was. But I want to tell you that when those same people that just were gushing over Gordon, they were saying before Gordon had any inclination to come to Denver, when Gordon was asking for money, they were like, what? I mean, the actual reaction that you should have, that's preposterous. Until, of course, John Elway sees Gordon, right? Then all of a sudden, it's great. It's wonderful. It's the best thing since toilet paper. And the Mile High reporters, they were all on my case because, tell me all the virtues of Gordon. And obviously, Gordon sucks, okay? There's the third thing I want to talk about, and that's that Orlando Franklin has become the next, has typically become, he always does. He's played the role of a quarterback serial killer here in the Mile High Sports Talk Radio. He's dug the hole and said, I'm burying Drew Lock right now. Now, this is the same guy. Now, we're talking about hypocrisy. You know, I realize I'm taking the floor right now, but he's the same guy that pounded the table to bring in Joe Flacco. And again, I was getting all kinds of crap about bringing Joe Flacco in. Yet, though, Joe Flacco goes away and reinvents himself because he's got some semblance of an offensive line in front of him in New York. But that being beside the point, he's sitting there pounding the table for Joe Flacco. And then he was the very first person to throw Flacco under the bus or throw him into the grave and have it buried. So he's getting the organizational serial killer thing going again, quarterback serial killer. So I had to put that out. Oh, there's something else we're going to go into. I know I'm on a roll and I'm ranting. But me and you off the record, we're having a little game and betting about who the Broncos, what washed up OC is going to come in and replace Shurmur. I'm going to give you the winner, but I want to say that I picked the Jets OC because he's tied to Munchak. He was Munchak's OC. That the Jets OC will come to Denver, but I think you got the winner. And why don't you, Colby, say who's going to be coming to Denver as the new OC?
Todd Haley.
No, better than that. No, he's like a runner-up. Jeff Fisher.
Jeff Fisher.
Oh, Jeff, I mean, that has Elway written all over it.
It does. It does completely. Can I piggyback on what you said about Orlando Franklin? Because Brandon Stokely and Zach By and Mile High Report, their hypothesis of Melvin Gordon before the season, we all knew it was bullshit, and we all knew it was crap. And you were one of the first people to come on this channel and talk about that. So I just want to talk about Orlando Franklin for a minute here, and then I'll segue into the Raiders offense because I want to talk about that. Orlando Franklin, what blows my mind about Orlando Franklin is he's a former offensive lineman protecting one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game in Peyton Manning. And he's sitting up there on sports talk radio telling how we have to give up on Drew Lock and we have to bury all these other quarterbacks that have come through the Denver Broncos organization. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening on what you're saying, and it just boggles my mind that he, of all people, would sit up there and proclaim to everybody that we have to bury Drew Lock and we have to give up on Drew Lock. Okay, if Drew Lock was in any other organization that had a resemblance of a good offensive line, you wouldn't.
Well, blocking scheme, even a blocking scheme. Even a blocking scheme. I mean, not just the offensive line, but the entire blocking scheme. If yes, there's no semblance of any blocking whatsoever on this team for the quarterback, none.
Or there's no semblance for pass blocking and run blocking. So when I you could say all you want about how Drew Lock is a catastrophic interception machine waiting to happen and he can't read defenses. Well, if you go back and watch the film like I do and you do as well, you will see that it's not always on Drew Lock here. There are points in a game where it is on Drew Lock, and I do bring that up when we talk about that. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, what would you do if you had an offensive line like this? What would you do back there when you have constant pressure and you can't pick up blitzes? How is that on Drew Lock? I get as a quarterback, you're supposed to call out the blitzes, but this is that was his 11th game. What are you supposed to do? And you have to criticize Pat Shurmur in this and Mike Munchak as well. Why aren't they
John Elway.
And John Elway, sorry. Why aren't they coming up with a strategy on how to work around that? Well, because they don't have the player personnel to do that. They don't have the player personnel to do that. And I tell people, Pat Shurmur isn't creative. Pat Shurmur isn't creative enough to get his receivers open, number one. Number two, he keeps shoving Gordon down our throats because it's coming from the higher up, Elway. Because
unless it comes to pass blocking, then that's Lindsey's job, because that makes so much sense. It's not about Elway's ego, right? It's all about the scheme, how great this guy. Oh yeah, we're gonna make Lindsey pass block, a Mack truck versus a Yugo, but let's not put Gordon in there to block whatever you do. Now we've saw that over and over all season long on game film. Okay. Go ahead and finish what you wanted to sum up.
But basically what I'm summing up is, what would you do behind this terrible offensive line that John Elway has put out for you? Okay, first of all, you have a rookie center in Lloyd Cushenberry, and you have a quarterback that has started 11 games. Am I correct? 11 games?
Now.
This is 11 games? Okay.
Now, well, you're in that ballpark anyway, okay.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number. And then you have a second-year left guard, and then you have a left tackle who everybody's proclaiming has gotten so much better over the past, 3-4 years that he's been here. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you guys continue to sit up here and blame Locke for all the struggles and issues that we're having on offense. If you go look at the offensive coordinator, if you go look at John Elway and you look at this offensive line, how is Drew Lock supposed to do anything with the type of player personnel in front of him? I get it. He has great receivers. But what is Pat Shurmur doing to get those receivers open, number one? Number two, you can't always rely on receivers to get open because you're going to face good defenses on a weekly basis if you go against really good defensive coordinators because they're out there.
Well, even moderate ones when it comes to Shurmur. even moderate ones.
So that's basically all I have to say about the whole Orlando Franklin thing. He's an idiot. He's become a Mark Schlereth clone when it comes to not criticizing Elway, because he'll get his balls chopped off by the producers. So this is Orlando Franklin. I've lost all respect, because him and Stanley Clough actually would go into Elway a little bit, but now they have to back off because, it's not Elway. It's all Locke. It's all Locke, because you feel good fans in the field.
It's all Locke. It's all Shurmur. It's all, the special teams coach. It's all Fangio. But I have a confession. I buried Locke on his, before anybody did. I'm the first person actually who buried Locke. I buried Locke when they selected him. Not because of Locke, because of everything that we are seeing right now unfold. I said there is no way that you can develop a quarterback in this organization, period. End of story. For all the reasons we've been mentioning, going through offensive coordinators, not knowing scheming from your ass, and so on and so forth, player personnel. Again, this is for all the Raider fans that have joined, because this is going to be the all 22 Raider. For all you Raider fans who never lived through the 90s, I'm trying to say this is what your organization went through while Al Davis was still alive. You had a stable full of receivers and a team in shambles. Okay, it was fire the head coach. It couldn't be Al Davis. Fire the head coach. Fire the head coach. Get a new quarterback. Bringing in Al Davis, bringing in player personnel like we do, who don't work out, like Melvin Gordon, they're mirror universe images of each other. Okay, so when Locke got drafted, I don't care who was drafted. I mean, when Locke I said the same thing with Case Keenum before he even got here. I said he's a dead man walking, and that's what I said about Drew Lock. I said Drew Lock is a dead man walking. He doesn't realize that his career is going to go down the shitter. And we have a pool about what desperate OC that the Broncos are going to get, because I know nobody wants to come here. Everybody around the league knows they wouldn't want to come here, not until there's ownership. Denver Broncos get an actual owner, and Elway's not there meddling. Okay, so I could see them getting a Jeff Fisher, a guy who single-handedly killed that's the quarterback in the Rams quarterback, Goff.
Goff.
Yeah, Jerry single-handedly tried to destroy his career. And I could see him coming here to destroy whoever's going to be here when the quarterback serial killers have their way. Locke's buried with all the other quarterbacks in the backyard, and they're going after their next victim. I can see this. I can see all this unfolding. So, yes, I have a confession. I buried Locke before he ever stepped foot in the Broncos facility. All right, we'll get you going with the Oakland Raiders and how you see them in the All 22.
Okay, I want to make a confession too about this. I hate watching Raider film because I hate the Raiders. I will never like the Raiders. I will never respect anything that they do, because I grew up I grew up hating the Oakland or Las Vegas Raiders.
Well, the Oakland Raiders of the day.
Oakland Raiders. Yeah. But that being said, okay, so I want to talk about the offense. I'm going to give Raider fans this. You guys have a really good head coach. I wouldn't say a great head coach, but you have a really good head coach that knows what he's doing on offense. So what I mean by that is they run a similar offense like the Rams do. They do a lot of motions. They try to get you off your spot, and they do a lot of quick plays for Derek Carr. Derek Carr is one of those quarterbacks where he needs to get the ball out of his hands quickly. If you make him read the field, he's going to make mistakes. He is not going to be one of those quarterbacks where he is going to beat you with his eyes. He ain't going to be a quarterback that's going to beat you with deception. He is going to be a quarterback that beats you with a lot of quick slants, getting the ball out of his hands quickly. And what I love about Gruden is he has adapted to his players, and he has adapted to what Derek Carr does best in what I just said. He is a quarterback that needs to get the ball out of his hands quickly. They have a really good offensive line up there in Las Vegas.
No, you don't need an offensive line. It's overrated.
Exactly. And so they have Josh Jacobs, who is a really good running back. They have some really good receivers. A guy that I think everybody needs to keep an eye on is Hunter Renfrow, the slot receiver. And then you have to account for Henry Ruggs. He has the speed to beat you. That was a typical Raider pick with this speed. But Henry Ruggs is one of those players where you have to account for him.
Is he playing slot?
They move him around a lot, actually.
Oh, okay, so he can go vertical and play slot.
Yes, they use him. They use him on offense like the Chiefs do with Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying that Henry Ruggs is a Tyreek Hill, but they utilize him in a way
that's the idea. That's the idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They have Nelson Aguilar, who came over from Philadelphia. He's an okay receiver. He's more of your possession receiver. And then they have that tight end Darren Waller, who that guy is an absolute stud. Darren Waller is one of those tight ends where you have this. I think this is the game where our linebackers are finally going to be really, really exposed. They were exposed last week, but they are going to be exposed this week to a point where I don't know what they're going to do. So,
just give you a timeout a second. I think that the Denver Broncos it'll be like Atlanta, where they're exposed both from the linebacking core. They're also going to be exposed once again in the secondary. They have no defensive line, so you can forget to get that quarterback penetration you need to give. To do what you're saying, that needs to be done to Derek Carr. Derek Carr, right?
Yep.
Not David Carr, his brother, right?
Yes.
And my good friend from the whoever he is, his brother.
But I think that I think they're going to be able to run the ball on us. I think they are that offensive line in Oakland.
But wait a minute. You mean you need an offensive line? You
need an offensive line.
No, you just give it a little lip service. Tell yourself how good your left tackle's been doing. That's all you need to worry about. Everybody else is fine. Just keep concentrating on that left tackle.
Yeah, because we have to prove everybody right.
Yeah, because we got to prove everybody that I'm right. I got to prove that I'm right and everybody is wrong. That man is the best thing that hit the. Matter of fact, I even heard that too out there. Well, Bowles probably is the best left tackle and he's like a number 2 left tackle in the league. And it's like, man, you guys have believed your own crap for so long. You're not even in the real world, not even remotely. So I see, and I think Schlereth was trying to say this in the most diplomatic way, that there's going to be an ass kicking, line to line ass kick. And, their O-line against our depleted and, ignored defensive line. I don't know who's coming back, if Callahan, I don't know. They're not going to get any help from the line. They're just not going to get help from their defensive line.
And the linebacking core.
Yeah. Well, you just exploit that linebacking core left and right. Yeah. Well, and do you think they're going to be able to stop Jacobs either?
No.
Yeah. So it looks like it's another buzzsaw. What do we say? Atlanta was going to be a buzzsaw waiting to happen.
Yep.
Yeah. This from the Raiders' offensive point of view looks like a buzzsaw waiting to happen to the Broncos' defense.
I think what they're going to do in this game, I think they're going to take a page out of what Atlanta did, but I think they're going to.
Well, Atlanta and everybody else.
Yeah, I like that. I think that what I've noticed over the past, so since after the Titans game, when everybody started to get film on other teams after week 1, I think that you're seeing a trend with the Denver Broncos and who they face. I think, let me say that again. I think you're seeing a trend where you have the teams that the Broncos are facing where they're not afraid to play us. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this offense is going to put up points against us. It's just the reality of the situation. I love Vic Fangio, I do, but he doesn't have the player personnel to run the defense to his strengths. And what I mean by that is he doesn't have the players to utilize his strengths as a play caller like he did in Chicago, like he did in San Francisco, like he did in all these other organizations.
That's the main point that it is completely ignored in Denver Broncos circles is player personnel and what it means to the coach and that coach style. And I'm not including Shurmur in this because he's obviously clueless and desperate, so he signed with the Broncos because nobody else is gonna sign him. So, but that point is lost on Broncos fans, player personnel. And, well, I've already chalked Fangio up as a loss, too. That eventually they'll get rid of him. And, so
at any somewhere else.
Yeah, he'll end up somewhere else. Succeeding, of course. So, yeah, I agree. I think that something bizarre would have to happen. Now, is this in Las Vegas?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how much it matters in either way, but something odd would have to happen if the Raiders didn't score at will or move the ball at will anyway. Something odd would have to happen for that not to happen, for them to not score at will.
And I also want to bring up this. Everybody that is praising the safety core, how is that going to change anything? Everything I watch on sports talk radio is saying how Justin Simmons and Kareem Jackson can make up the losses for Bryce Callahan and AJ Boyd.
It's not, no.
Are you serious?
These are the same people. These are the same people that just are shocked. I tell you that Gordon is a bum. Shocked. They can't believe it. And I'll say this. You know what? You could have Jackson and Simmons on the team. That's fine. And we probably wouldn't even be talking about them if for instance, they were on the Chicago Bears, for instance, with Vic Fangio. It probably wouldn't be an issue. No, because the rest of the team supports those positions. Safeties can't make up for the rest of the defense. It's no reflect. I don't care who's back there. If everybody else sucks, you're done. You're a dead man walking out there. You're two dead men walking out there. You cannot if your defensive line is not helping you out, you're a dead man walking out there because you can have safeties. They're not going to stop the run. They're not going to stop the tight ends. The ball's going to be moved. And, they can target anywhere else. We'll just give them the benefit of the doubt, okay? We'll say they're the best ever. They're the best ever, okay? You can still target everywhere else on that field. It's a non-issue. If you only have 2 players out of 11, that's just, lock those people away talk. Put them in a straitjacket and take them away.
It's not like
never say that shit.
It's not like Justin Simmons and Kareem Jackson are these all-world safeties to begin with.
No, and they've both been caught, Kareem Jackson especially, mistackling on a regular basis. I've showed footage of it. So I don't want to hear it.
I also don't want to hear how Bradley Chubb is a bust because I want to tell people this, and
are they saying that too?
They're starting to say it. They're starting to say that. Okay, so let me educate the Feel Good fans and let me educate talk radio. So basically, what I'm saying here is Bradley Chubb. What is he supposed to do when he's getting doubled and triple teamed?
He's got no support. He's got no
exactly. Support. They did it to Von Miller last year. Why do you think he didn't have a good year? Because he didn't have a sidekick, Bradley Chubb, on the other side, number one. He doesn't have Malik Jackson and Derek Wolfe and all these other players to help. Seriously. You really think that these pass rushers nowadays especially on the outside, are going to have the same success as Von Miller did in 2015. Okay, as a defensive coordinator, my level of thinking is I would take an Aaron Donald over a Von Miller because they can get to the quarterback faster going up the middle. You can't get to the quarterback faster by going on the edge because they can double and triple team you with a guard, a tackle, and a tight end. Aaron Donald is one of those players, and I didn't want to bring up Aaron Donald, but Aaron Donald is one of those players. He plays a 3 and 4 technique. He's like your modern day Warren Sapp back when he was playing in Tampa Bay. Aaron Donald is a type of pass rusher which I would like because
Aaron Donalds don't grow on trees,
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up and educate Broncos country with that.
This is the point. They will sit there and talk about Chubb. What they will not talk about is the lack of depth on the defensive line. And you bring that up all the time. You brought it up all season long. I brought it up before the season even started and how to address it. Oh, we got Casey, this washed up, again, I see him. Nobody's going to pay him the money we're going to pay him,
Nobody's going to trade for him.
Yes. So that was your solution to a problem that's much bigger in scope. But the only way that they address it is it's a Chubb deal. No, it's a player personnel problem. Now, let me ask you about the Raiders' defense. No, I don't. I think it's a step down from their offense if you put them side to side. So what do you see with the Raiders defensively?
So the Raiders defensively, their defensive line in particular, I think they're going to have a field day tomorrow on Sunday against this offensive line.
And lack of pass pro, and lack of pass protection from our running backs, especially Melvin Gordon. They can get okay. So I watched the film from the Charger game and the Chiefs game, especially because I wanted to see how they did against those type of like Justin Herbert and they were getting after those guys, but they weren't finishing the job, and they were pressuring those guys, but they weren't finishing the job. They weren't getting the sacks. You told me yesterday or the day before yesterday that you wanted me to do some film on Courtney Littleton, and I really want to talk to you about him. Okay, we'll go back to we'll park the offense. We'll get back to their offense. Okay, yeah, I did want you to talk about Courtney Littleton. First of all, why are we talking about Courtney Littleton?
Because he's a coverage guy.
Well, no. We're talking about Courtney Littleton because before the season started, I in particular was pounding the table to the Denver Broncos, and there was nobody out there that was saying that but me. So what did you see?
So Courtney Littleton, I'm gonna disagree with you here. He has struggled a little bit, but it's because he doesn't have the pieces around him to use him to his full strength.
Okay.
But the one thing that he has done great is like I've wanted a guy like that is he can cover the tight end.
That's why I wanted to bring him in. He's a coverage guy.
That's his main assignment in this Raiders defense. He's going to cover your best.
That is what I said coming before the season and why I wanted it. Now I ask you. You stack up Courtney Littleton to what we got linebacking wise. Now they brought Busby back in, which is a step in that direction.
Yeah.
How that ever happened, it's mind-boggling. But again, that was stupidity on the Broncos' part that they even lost him. But you compare him to our linebackers, what do you see?
It's not even close.
Not even close.
But okay, so. Basically, I love Courtney Littleton on this roster, but the film that I'm seeing is he has struggled in aspects of so stopping the run, certain aspects of that, but that's not his strength. His strength is the cover.
You bring him in
the middle of the field.
The Broncos, what's their big problem? Now they got lots of problems.
Okay.
But what was typically defensively? What was their biggest problem?
They can't cover tight end. Middle of the field. They can't cover the middle of the field.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here, I'm looking at Courtney Littleton, and I compare him to our linebackers that everybody's saying that they have gotten so much better, and I haven't seen it. But I compare them, Courtney Littleton, to Josie Jewell and Alexander Johnson. And it's not even close, ladies and gentlemen. You can have Alexander Johnson and Josie Jewell probably on a one down basis or a backup basis, but that's it. I can't fathom how Elway has ignored this position since Danny Trevathan has left. It's mind-boggling to me. You bring in the likes of Mark Barron, Nigel Bradham. They're injured. They're old. They're slow. They're past their prime. And then you continue to get these linebackers in college who can't tackle, who can't tackle, who are slow, and they can't. The one thing Alexander Johnson and Josie Jewell, they don't do anything well. And that's the sad part. Out of all the film that I've done, I haven't seen one thing this year where they've both done something well. So Josie Jewell, for instance. Okay, he's good at cleaning up tackles, but that's it. I don't see anything special out of Josie Jewell. I don't see anything special out of Alexander Johnson, but when I watch Courtney Littleton, he covers the middle of the field. He can hold the middle of the field long enough for the defensive line to get to the quarterback, number one. And number two, Courtney Littleton is just one of those players where he can go out to the flat and cover your running back. He can go out to the flat and cover your tight end. He can cover your slot receiver to a point. Like, ladies and gentlemen, the Courtney Littleton is something that is a player that not a lot of people like to talk about because they like to do the feel-good crap. They like to do the Alexander Johnson is the next Al Wilson. Like, give me a freaking break.
They're not even in the same universe together. They're not even in the same universe together.
They're not even in the same realm.
No.
Al Wilson was a type. Al Wilson could cover. He could do it all. He was basically your decade's version of Randy Gradishar. He was basically your decade's version of Randy Gradishar. Not to the point of Randy Gradishar, but he was very damn close.
Well, what it is you got places like you have online places of sports talk radio where you get what's called groupthink. There's groupthink. So nobody can break past the block of groupthink. So if they all just sit there and chatter about, Al Wilson or, Alexander Johnson being the next Al Wilson, this is going, it just goes in a bubble, a circular bubble. And and if somebody on the outside says, no, you're totally, you're on, crack. It's like, oh yeah.
Well, you're not a Bronco fan.
Oh, you're not a Bronco fan. Yeah. You want the best. You want the best, but you're not a Bronco. Me, I'm saying we want the best. So the very best. So by virtue of us wanting the very best, we're automatically not Bronco fans, because we don't get involved in that nursery rhyme crap, So no, I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay, I'll finish up the corners and I'll let you talk about, what the Broncos should do.
I'm going to have you finish up their defense.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and I'll let you go and talk about what you saw or whatever if you watched film. Yeah. So the corners for the Raiders are a very young group. But the one thing I do like about their cornerback room is they never give up, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the one thing I like about Gruden. He preaches, don't give up, play hard to every snap.
Don't give up your play.
Don't give up your play. They have a safety named Jonathan Abram that everybody needs to keep an eye on. He is a hard-hitting safety. He's a very good safety. They got Heath back there. Besides him, he is a journeyman safety. Excuse me. They have also Isaiah Johnson, who he struggles, but he's a very young player, and he shows flashes of how good he can be. Isaiah Johnson was the one that helped. He was the pass breakup with the Herbert 2-point conversion there at the end of the game or whatever, touchdown. Did the pass breakup and everything. He's a slot corner. He can play. He can basically play all over. He is a very good corner, a very good young corner. He's going to struggle, but he's a very good young corner. So watch out for him. Watch out for Jonathan Abram. Watch out for Jeff Heath. They're going to be. I think they're going to be able to cover these receivers long enough where they're going to be able to get after Locke. So you can go into what you want to talk about.
Okay, I want to say that the Broncos. I want to once again, see what Pat Shurmur's doing with his block scheming. That's what I said before. I said block scheming, and I said throw to the tight ends. This one's going to be a little different, I think, than you're just throwing to the tight ends. They refuse to do that anyway. Now they're down at tight end due to an ACL, so they weren't really doing that anyway. So I'm assuming we'll see the 3 receiver set again. It'll be, we refuse to change. I don't think they can change. I don't think that Shurmur has enough as a coach to change. But this is what I want to say about the Raiders is I would give, in the 90s, I used to go online and give them a real hard time. I really was on the, because it was a joke. They had Al Davis there, and they were trying to make pieces work and all this. And now they get the last laugh because it's John Elway, of all people, destroying the team. It'd be one thing if it was some ridiculous GM and a meddling owner. But the fact it's John Elway single-handedly taking this team down the toilet has got to be the most rewarding last laugh of not just the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Chargers. They all must be loving it.
The Browns.
Well, no, I've been talking about our division because it used to be really fiery, and of late, the Raiders have become user friendly. The biggest rival has been Kansas City. I mean, remotely, Chargers to some degree, but it used to be a hardcore rivalry, and being on top in those days was great, and watching the other organizations floundering around, but it has to be so rewarding for them to see John Elway single-handedly destroying this organization, and that's the part that really gets me fired up now. And why I am the way I am and why I'm pissed off is that they can sit there and just relish in this while these idiots are talking about Alexander Johnson being the next Al Wilson. That's where we are now. God forbid we try to be the best, no matter what. If it even means telling Elway to hit the road, it's just it's insanity. You got Oakley, Dokley, Stokely. Oh my God, can you imagine? Gordon was a bad signing. Yeah, and then let's bury Locke. Just because he's bad, not because of everything else, but because he's bad. And you understand where my frustration is in all this? Going from one extreme to this extreme, it's very frustrating. And we're probably going to get our helmets handed to us, again. And we are the joke of this division. Even though the Chargers are their own kind of joke, we're even really a bigger joke.
But you actually see hope in the Chargers. You don't see hope here in Denver. You actually see that what the Chargers have done over the past 5-6 years, they've actually have had better player personnel decisions than the Denver Broncos.
Well, and Al Davis's kid is stayed away. He's not meddling like his dad did.
No, he's letting the coaches do their job. He's letting the GM do his job. Same with the Chargers and Chiefs. You don't see the Chiefs owner and the Chiefs GM challenging Andy Reid or whatever, the GM challenging both. You don't see the Chargers doing that as well. This is a clown franchise of all the clown franchise that I feared would happen if Elway had total control of this organization. And unfortunately, he is holding 2 titles. What does that say? When you're holding your GM and player personnel operations, when you're three because he's the head coach. I forgot about that.
Owner
too. There's 4. He's coach, owner, player person. He's everything. Okay.
Yeah, he's in charge of the money. Anybody in charge of the money is the owner, in my book.
So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm with you on this whole clown fiasco that we have with the online sports talk radio. Then you have your main talk radio. That seriously, you guys have to look at yourself in a mirror, and you have to come to realization that this team ain't going anywhere until 2022. 2022 is going to be the ultimate. What direction? Are we going to continue to go down this direction where we're a clown franchise, or we're going to be back to respectability in the division?
Again, I have to caution you because we don't know what the ownership situation is.
That's why I said there's going to be two roads we're going to go down.
It's called mystery date. It was like that game for girls a long time. A mystery date. You know, you may get the stud, or you may get the guy in the fishing outfit. You know,
but seriously, nobody in this division respects us. Nobody is seriously.
Oh, they got to be in the film room laughing.
They're laughing at us.
Yeah.
We were the king of the crop in this division. Now look at it. It's the Chiefs and the Raiders. The two that we would beat on a constant basis under the tutelage of Pat Bowlen, ladies and gentlemen. The two that, they were competitive, but at the end of the day, we knew how to win games, and we knew how to win Super Bowls.
We knew how to beat them in the
We don't even know how to win games anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to get back to something here really quick is about John Elway making his points. Do you see Philip Lindsay getting away from the Broncos? He won't be able to look in his rearview mirror fast enough.
Yes,
and go somewhere, and he's going to prosper.
He's going to go somewhere and he's probably going to be. Philip Lindsay is going to leave this organization, and we're going to be stuck with Gordon and Freeman.
How many years was Gordon signed? Was it just one?
2. Why do you think that was?
Oh, God. It would have been better if we had Flacco at the same time.
I'm watching I don't want to go off topic, but I think that we're going to lose this game. I don't like to make game predictions, but I don't. Okay, so I don't trust Pat Shurmur to be creative in this game. I said it last week, and I've been saying it since week 1 that he can't adapt.
Up tempo.
I think Locke is going to continue to struggle in the first half, and then once they play prevent, he'll be able to, dice it up. I think that the defense is going to be. This might be the worst. This might be the worst game in Vic Fangio's career as a defensive play caller, honestly, because the Raiders offense is no joke, and the Raiders they know how to design plays and get their players open, and they're very smart. And the offensive line for the Raiders is it's far and it's
banged up. It's banged up. It's a banged up offensive line. It's not even a starting offensive line. It's banged up. That one's banged up, and they're still better than ours.
Oh, exactly, like the Chiefs were. They were banged up when we played them, and they still put points on us.
Yeah.
Because we can't get after the quarterback. We don't have the defensive line. Yeah, we don't have the defensive line. We don't have the linebackers. We don't have the corners. Thank goodness we brought back Devontae Bosby, so we don't. At least that's a resemblance of something.
Wait. They have to play him. I mean, he may be on the practice squad. That's Elway as usual right there. Now, let me ask you this real quick question: what were the blocking schemes of the Chiefs and the San Diego Chargers in the all-22 against the Raiders?
Oh, the blocking schemes were basically fundamental football 101 blocking schemes. It wasn't anything pretty. It wasn't anything, where you're like, oh my gosh, look at the stunts.
No, I mean tight ends, running backs. I mean,
I was gonna go. Okay, so basically, the offensive lines for both the Chargers and Chiefs during the Raiders. So at the end of the day, the Raiders' defensive line isn't the best, but they knew how to account for those type of players like the likes of Cleveland Farrell, Max Crosby, and guys like that. So what they did was they brought their 2 tight end sets, because those are edge players, 2 tight end sets, and blocked them to the point where, they got to the point in the game where they could utilize the tight ends, and They did a lot of motions too to get their defense off when they faced the Raiders. They did a lot of motions. I don't see Pat Shurmur doing that. So,
yeah, that's what we're talking about when we're saying creative, right?
They weren't okay. So we're not talking about motions where we're gonna pitch it to a receiver and making him throw it. I'm talking about like the Chiefs do on a regular basis, like the Raiders do, like the Rams do. They do that so they can dictate so their quarterback can understand what type of defense that they're running at that point in time. That's why they do that, and they get their defense off coverage. Basically, they get them to a point where we got to account for that. We got to account for that. They have to account for so many things when they bring a jet sweep or something to fake what if they're going to run the football. Also, what they did is they did a lot of pull. So basically, what a pull is, you pull a guard with the running back and you have a fullback there. So I don't see at all. He doesn't use Lindsey, and that's seriously every time I watch Lindsey in the game. I know I'm rambling, but every time I watch Lindsey in the game, and they pull that guard with Reisner or Schlottman or Glasgow, they have so much success doing that, and then they just pull him out. Oh, we got to force feed Gordon to you. So basically, what they did,
we got to prove that Elway's right.
Exactly,
Elway's right.
Exactly, but I don't see Shurmur doing the two tight ends. I don't because.
So it's not really about up tempo. It's more about scheme, right? It's more about scheme.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what we've been trying to say. Now, I'll be honest with you. I believe That's Good Sports did a joke, kind of a joke video, but he was saying Shurmur, they say bubble screen, so you put blockers in front. I just don't think they're good enough. They're not a good enough team to run a bubble screen. They just don't have the player personnel to
really
all you have.
Yeah,
really pull it off. I think that's what the real problem is. Well, and again, that goes back to Elway not doing his job with player personnel. We should be, Gruden understands. They aren't bullshitting when it says building from the lines out. Okay, they're actually doing it. You can sit there and say it at Sports Talk Radio, but your front office absolutely thinks the line is overrated, and they draft as such. In my opinion, that was kind of Al Davis's problem at the same time. You load up with receivers. You can't really get to them. Your scheming is a mess. And that's the bottom line for the Broncos, and that's why they're going to lose against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yep.
For me, anyway.
Well, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, okay, everybody was complaining about the Khalil Mack trade, but I don't think any Raider fan are looking back at that anymore because they're 5-3. And okay, so here's something that I want to bring up to you. And I was watching Raider film and Raider experts break down their film too, because I like to watch that, and I also like to go back and watch behind enemy lines and see what they think. Here's how the Raiders management understands. They were about to pick Tristan Wirfs, and look how good he's playing in Tampa Bay. Okay, with all the issues that Brady and they're having, but they got an offensive lineman from Iowa, Tristan Wirfs, and they were about to pick him. Could you imagine if you have Tristan Wirfs, Gabe Jackson, Robbie Hudson, who's very underrated, and you have Trent Brown? Could you imagine this offensive line? This offensive line healthy is probably a top 3 offensive line. It is that good.
Because they get that. They get it. And they are going to, if they're
going to run the football.
If they stick with Chucky and their GM and they work out the rest of this offense, they're going to be around for a while.
And the defense too.
But the Bronco organization is a rudderless, clueless ship. They don't get base football. They just don't. That's why I'm saying, go back to, burying Drew Lock. And Case King, you're a dead man walking because you are going to an organization that just doesn't get it. And a fan base that's so depleted now, they think that arguments about, deck chairs on the Titanic, Al Wilson and Anderson, Johnson, that this is some sort of it just, anyway. So it's where we are, brother. That's where we are.
Well, I want to bring up this, and then we can, end the video or whatever. But
Sure.
if Drew Lock was behind the Raiders' offensive line, he would have so much success. He would have so much more success because why do you think Derek Carr's having so much success?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No. It would be yes. No. It's not. Yes. This is way beyond a Drew Lock issue. Way beyond it. And it won't get addressed, and we know it won't get addressed until 2022. We're going to play mystery date. We don't know who's going to own the team. But until, and look how the Raiders, how long it's actually taken them to finally get out of their own shell that they created themselves.
They're doing it right.
Finally,
they're doing it right.
That's what I'm saying. This is going to take a while.
Oh, it's going to take this will probably be a decade before we get it right. Seriously, this isn't going to be coming. This isn't
if we're lucky. If we're lucky, that means
if we get the right people and
that's if we
bring back Adam Peters.
Well, that's it. That's if we get ownership that's good. No, we don't get Jerry Jones. We don't get Snyder.
We don't get Haslam from the Browns.
Yeah, we don't get that stuff. If we don't get that, if we don't get that, even Miami to some degree too.
But they're actually they've done it. I think they've done it pretty well. They drafted offensive linemen early in the first round, and they're playing them. And look, they're 4-3. They beat the Cardinals. Like, seriously, ladies and gentlemen, the Dolphins haven't been good since Dan Marino and Don Shula and all that stuff.
The big Dan Marino, I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh, no!
The big Dan Marino. Let me tell you, man, Dan Marino.
No, I want Adam Peters. I want Adam Peters back, and that's who I want as the next general manager for the Denver Broncos. And I want a coach. I would love to keep Fangio, but he's going to be gone.
He'll be gone.
Locke is going to be gone. Judy's Sutton. They're all going to be gone. Okay, so can we just accept the fact that
it's going to look nothing like it does now?
Exactly. And I want to bring in a coach who actually knows. Okay.
Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, bring in Jeff Fisher.
Bring Jeff Fisher in. He'll get you 9-7. I swear, he'll get you 9-7.
He'll get your quarterback killed.
Yeah. We don't have enough of that going on. We got.
I think we. You know what? Honestly, can I say something? I think that. I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're kind of in that Jeff Fisher realm, where we're just a 7-9 team, or a 6-10 team, where we could, if we're lucky, we go 9-7, and our offensive line stinks like Jeff Fisher's was always when he was a coach, and his defenses were good, but the offense just couldn't get the job done. Who did that fall on?
Yeah, management, upper management. I actually see this team disintegrating as this season goes on. Locke will be the sacrificial lamb. Shurmur also will be a sacrificial lamb.
Wouldn't be surprised if he's fired.
Yes, he'll be a sacrificial lamb. Bill O'Brien will not want to come to the Broncos because his ego's too big. It has to be somebody really, really desperate that
bring back Rich Scangarillo, please.
Oh, that'll never happen because that would prove Elway was
wrong.
So you can't have Elway proven wrong, and you got to say I was right. I was right this whole time. So, but Elway's got enough insulation that he has fall guys, and yeah. So he's got fall guys that'll take the fall on the sword. But the problem is, once they go, you got to who's going to come in. So that's why me and you have the Deadpool of the loser that's going to come in and desperately looking for a job to come in and take over the reins.
What is Hue Jackson going to be the next offense coordinator? Oh my gosh!
Is he desperate? Imagine? Is Hue Jackson desperate enough?
I think he is.
You think he's desperate?
I think Todd Haley. I'm not like recent coaches. I don't think Jeff Fisher wants to coach again. I really don't.
But it would be so poetic, wouldn't it?
Oh, exactly. That's why I said his name. But you have the likes of Todd Haley and Hue Jackson come here. Oh my gosh. I would be so pissed. Like, that would be the ultimate just Nut check.
Well,
like,
no, but see, but that's a good pick though for Elway because it's another scapegoat. That
it's another yes man.
Yeah, yes, man. Yes, you will, and I will stab you in the back and bury you, and it's all your fault. I had nothing to do with it.
I know that we don't play the Cardinals, but I just want to bring. All the players that you've mentioned, I went back and looked at them on the All 22 film. One guy that you have been dead on is Jacob Phillips.
Yeah. Yeah,
that dude is an absolute monster. That dude is an absolute freak of nature.
I was the only one. I'm the only one who said that too. It was me. I'm the only one. I was Jarrell Casey. I said, why is everybody? What is this about? Why were you getting this over the hill guy when you have an up and coming guy that you can get? I'm like.
Jacob Phillips is wreaking havoc. I'm sorry. He is a freak. He was one of the players. Okay, I watched Littleton, Darby. I think Darby's struggling a little bit because he's injury. He's injured.
Yes, and I put that as an asterisk.
But he's fast enough to cover the players that you mentioned, and I saw it. I went back and watched when he was healthy. Back last year and the year before, he has the talent. He's just injured a lot, and that's okay. We get it. Bryce Callahan was injured a lot, but look how good he's played. But I specifically watched Courtney Littleton and Jacob Phillips, and if those two were added on this team, this defense would at least be respectable.
Well, this team needs defensive. Needs the middle. It needs the middle. It needs the front seven addressed in a big way.
Well, they did. Well, honestly, I would love you add Jacob Phillips and Courtney Littleton to this team.
Oh yes, you're right.
It would be far and it would exceed what we see now from the defense and linebacking core.
Yes.
The line.
Yes, those two additions alone would have brought this team up. But here's the thing. I'm assuming they would actually want to come here.
Yeah, that's assuming exactly.
That's assuming a big thing. That's a big assumption.
You know what's interesting? You remember when we were trying to go after DJ Reader, and he went to Cincinnati instead of Denver? What does that tell you?
Tells me a lot. Oh well, he wanted to play for that number one pick. He wanted to play for that number one pick.
Bull crap.
It's all Burrow. It's all Burrow. That's why the Broncos got to get Trevor Lawrence. You know, we got to tank for Trevor, which will never happen, but they're already
the Jets will get him.
Well,
we could trade for Sam Darnold. He is going to solve all of it.
Well, yeah, talk to you. The Village Idiot will tell you that. But the thing is Trevor Lawrence may not even go into the NFL draft this year.
True.
You know, that's highly up in the air right now.
I think we'll finish with the top 5 pick, but I think we'll get the player wrong, honestly.
Well, you know, yeah, maybe they'll get another receiver. Who knows?
Oh, goodness gracious.
Go vertical.
Go vertical, guys. But at the end of the day, I want to bring this up, and, you know, we are going to lose this game, and it might be an ass whooping. It could possibly be an ass whooping. I wouldn't be surprised if this game's over by the end of the half again.
Yeah. Just like it was in San Diego, just like it was with San Diego,
Atlanta
Chargers. Yeah, Atlanta. So it was with Kansas City. As so it was with
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. Tampa.
Did we go on?
You go on and on. You could. Okay. Yeah. It's. When we face good teams, it's not going to be pretty. See, every time we face a good team, we get destroyed. What does that tell you? We don't have the player personnel to keep up with these well-run franchises.
Well, this is what the deal is. This is what you're going to hear. You're going to say, well, this is 2020 is an aberration because of injuries. So give John Elway credit. Make sure everybody's healthy. We'll bring them all back. Well, first of all, I don't think Lindsey's going to be here. I don't think Chubb isn't contract. Is his guy?
Next year is
Von Miller.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. So who do you have? Oh, you have Casey. You have Casey.
Chubb.
Yeah, you have Casey. So yeah, there's
I've already accepted the fact that Von Miller's leaving. You heard it when he was talking to your boy Stokely and the clown sack by.
Stokely.
See that? What does that tell you when the players don't want to talk to those type of people because he knows that they're idiots.
And he's out of here.
He's out. He's checked out. He's here for a paycheck.
Yeah, he's definitely checked out. Lindsey, in my opinion, won't be able to get away fast enough.
Oh, he can't wait.
Yeah. Well, okay, we'll wrap that up.
Yep.
And go vertical.
Go vertical. We'll see what happens on Sunday.
Yeah. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.